Hello, class of 2022. Welcome to your senior year. Yay! Woo! We want you to know that the AK Student Services Department will do everything we can to assist and guide you through your last year of high school. My name is Mr. Cable, and with me today is Mrs. DePerno. We are two of the 9 counselors here at AK, and our department has put together a slide presentation for you so you know what you should be working on to prepare for your senior appointment. The senior appointments, all the counselors came around to all the senior homerooms either last Friday, this past Monday, and Tuesday. We covered all 30 senior homerooms, and we kind of went over everything that you all need to be working on, gave you a handout and things of that sort. Want to make sure we stress that every senior, all seniors need to sign up for a senior appointment, regardless of what your post-secondary plans are after high school, whether you're going to the military, trade school, some people will be going to CPCC for a year or two, or if you're going to a 4-year college, directly to a 4-year college or university, everyone must have a senior appointment. So signups, today is the 15th of September, and signups, you can start signing up for your senior appointment as early as tomorrow morning by going to the link that we just clicked on here. You scroll down and you will see sign up links coming soon. They will be live tomorrow morning on Thursday, the 16th of September. It'll be listed by last name counselor. So you look for the counselor, look for your last name as far as who your counselor is, and you can sign up tomorrow. And the actual appointments begin on Monday, the 20th of September, and they'll go through most of November. So there's plenty of opportunities to sign up for your senior appointment. Again, everyone has to sign up for a senior appointment. The handout that was given to you in homeroom, everyone should got a pink handout. We also have a handout listed on the website here as well, in case you misplaced it or you weren't here or you didn't get one. You can also look this over, but the key is you want to make sure that you go through this basically a to-do list to make sure you've done everything you possibly can on this sheet prior to your senior appointment. And it'll make your senior appointment go a lot better if we can go ahead and take care of that.
Okay, so during your senior appointment, we're going to be doing a couple of things. Most importantly, we're going to be going over your graduation requirements. We want to make sure that you know what you need to graduate and that you are scheduled for the classes that you need for graduation. We'll also be giving you an unofficial transcript with an updated rank and GPA. We are running rank on the 15th, which is today. So everything is going to be updated on your transcript. So we want to make sure you have a copy of that. A lot of schools are self-reporting now, so they'll want you to upload your transcript. But it's an unofficial transcript that's really for you to do whatever you want with. Just remember that we as the counselor will send official transcripts to your colleges. We'll also be working on Naviance together, mostly under the colleges I'm applying to tab. This is where all the schools that you're applying to are going to need to go at some point. And we want to make sure that you have those on there before your senior appointment, if possible, so that all we're really having to do is go over them together and make sure that we request your transcripts to those schools. So we'll talk a little bit about the schools you're applying to. If you plan on going to a 4-year university, we'll talk about what your safety schools are, your REACH schools, your 50-50 schools. And then we'll go into talking about the deadlines for each of the schools you are applying to. We want to make sure that all of your documents are where they need to be by the deadline of the schools you're applying to. We'll also go over the transcript request. We just ask that you don't request your transcript before the appointment. We'll do that together. And then we'll talk a little bit about recommendations. If you're having any teachers write a recommendation for you, if they're even needed for the colleges you're applying to at all, and making sure that those are on Naviance as well. Your teachers are linked to you. And finally, we'll talk a little bit about test scores. Some schools are still test optional due to COVID. So if you have a chance, research those schools and see if they're test optional or not. A lot of the schools will want you to self-report your scores, especially on the Common Application. And then later, like in April, they'll want you to send an official score report, which you will do yourself from College Board if it's SAT, and the ACT website if it's ACT. So by now you probably know this, but just a quick hit on what colleges are looking for. Of course, they're going to be looking at the rigor of classes you took while you were in high school. So colleges want to see that you're preparing yourself for college level courses. So obviously they want to see that you improved or increased your rigor during high school. and see how you performed in those classes. They're going to look at your grades and GPA. Some schools will look at rank, not as much weight put into rank as course selection and grades that you receive in those classes. Some of the schools, if they're not test optional, they're going to look at your SAT and ACT scores. And more so than ever, they're looking at those essay responses. So if you're familiar with Common App, there's the Common App essay that you have to write. Because of COVID, colleges are taking a much more holistic approach when looking at applications. So they're going to want to read that essay. So, try and pick a topic that's going to jump off the page at the admissions rep whenever they're reading your essay. Extracurricular involvement, there's no magic formula, there's no magic box you have to fit in for this. Really, colleges just want to see that you were involved in something outside of school that you were passionate about, maybe had some longevity in, maybe had some leadership in. And if you could do community service, great. Again, no magic formula, no, I have to do this and this and this and this. It's again, just things that you're doing that are outside of school. And then finally, recommendations for those colleges that do want to see a letter of recommendation. They are going to read those, and a lot of schools will probably only want one, if any, maybe two. So you don't have to go out and get 10 letters of recommendations. So you just want to make sure that you're having someone who can kind of speak to how you performed in the classroom.
Okay, so let's take a look at deadlines. So there's early decision, early action, and regular decision. So let's go through this and make sure we know exactly what they mean. So the only one that's a binding decision, that there's actually an agreement to it, is early decision. So not every college and university offers early decision, but some of them do. And what that means is if you apply to a college using early decision, you will sign a legal contract saying that if you get into that school, that's where you're going. It's as simple as that. So these are for students who they have a dream school, and if they get in there, they're going there, and they're gonna take away all their other applications to all their other schools, and that's part of the agreement. I personally, I might have a handful of students. We each have about 100 seniors. I might have a handful. Each counselor might have a handful of students who applied to one certain school early decision each year. The early action probably is the most popular among AK kiddos, and basically it's the early deadline. A lot of times it's 10/15 or 11/1 or even 11/15. Sometimes it's as late as even December 1 for a South Carolina school or two, but it's a non-binding decision. So you can apply to multiple schools early action. Just remember, it's not binding, and basically you're turning in your homework early to find out early as to whether or not you got in. So it's usually like a 10/15, 11/1, and you'll find out usually second, third week in January for most schools. The good thing about early action and early decision, by applying early, it's a good idea a lot of times because you are automatically in the pool for scholarships. Just by applying early, you're automatically in the pool for scholarships for those schools, which is kind of neat. So it's a good idea. And you can read a little bit more about acceptance rates and things of that sort. Regular decision, it's again non-binding, just like early action. A student applies with the standard applicant pool. Those are anywhere typically from December 1 through maybe February 1, but you don't find out as far as whether you got into that college or not, typically until March. So you have to weigh in as far as which way you want to apply to however many schools and things of that sort. So to wrap things up, I know a lot of you are going to have questions and whatnot. Mom and dad are going to have questions as well. So a good idea is to jot those down, and being that parents don't attend the senior appointments, write those down for mom and dad or whoever you live with, along with your own questions. We will go through, we meet with every student. We'll go through everything that we need to. A lot of times the questions will be answered as we go through the senior appointment process. But if there are any lingering questions you have, we'll be more than happy to answer those. So we appreciate your time, and we hope that this has been helpful to class of 2022 getting ready for their senior appointments.